Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting chess game. So this time we have Efim with the white pieces, one of the strongest chess players in his era. So this chess game was played in 1953 from the Zuerich Candidates Chess Tournament, and his opponent was the 5th world chess champion Euwe. I want to check out this chess game from the perspective of the former world chess champion. So let's see what happened. d4, knight to f6, c4, and we have the Nimzo-Indian defense, e3, c5, a3, bishop takes knight, and we see some conventional moves, developing the pieces. So white is defending g2, developing the knight, black castled, white also castled, and knight to a5, and aiming some of the key squares such as c4. So opening the c file, and this pawn is going to be a weakness for white. So e4, knight to e8, knight to g3, c takes on d4, c takes on d4, rook over, and we have f4. So simply attacking the pawn. And how to defend? If defending with the queen, then knight takes on c4. If bishop takes, then knight to d6 is also good, but d5 and the bishop is pinned, and black is better in this position. So rook over, f4, knight takes, f5, and then Euwe push the pawn and fixing the f pawn. Rook up, so Efim is going to swing his rook and then attack the king. So b5, rook over, and queen to b6, attacking the d pawn. e5, defending and advancing and planning to liberate the bishop as well. So there are so many decisions to make, and white's attack on the king side seems scary and intimidating, especially if we consider the attacker was Efim, one of the strongest attacking chess players of all times, as strong and as dangerous as Mikhail Tal. But in this position, Euwe calmly captured the pawn, knight takes on e5, and the d pawn is pinned. But liberating the bishop, f takes on e6, and then knight takes bishop, queen takes on d3, and we see some sort of double threat, attacking on h7, and also pawn takes pawn, forking the knight, and the rook is in the cards. So in this position, Euwe played queen takes on e6, allowing queen takes on h7, check, and this looks very scary. So king to f7, and then bishop to h6. So Efim is all over Euwe, and the g pawn is pinned, and maybe knight in is also possible, but we see an incredible move by Euwe. Well, he played rook to h8, a very cool looking deflection move, sacrificing the rook. So if moving the queen, white has to accept the sacrifice. If moving the queen, then capturing the bishop. So queen takes, and this was Euwe's idea, rook to c2. We can see that the rook sacrifice deflected the queen from defending on c2. Now, as you can see, the rook invades on the second rank with aiming on g2, and the bishop is supporting the rook. It looks impossible to defend for white. So rook to c1, and this was the wrong move in this very difficult position. The best move was d5, and this was a very difficult move to spot. Missed this only move which would defend the position. So if queen takes on d5, then we have rook to e4, and how to defend? Queen takes knight. So if defending the knight, then queen takes on g7 is checkmate. And after d5, if bishop takes, then rook to d1, rook takes, king over, and then bishop back. And finding all this seems very difficult for humans' perspective, especially at the heat of the moment during the chess game. So in this position, rook to c1 was not the best move. Pushing the pawn was the best defensive move, because now we have check, and then queen in. So you can see that queen to f3 is the threat. King to e1. And if a4, then we have check, check, and then white is getting checkmated very quickly. And if rook to f4, then check, check, and rook is blocking the bishop, so this is also checkmate. So queen to b3, but the game ended very quickly after king to e1, queen to f3, and in this position Efim Geller resigned how to defend queen check, bishop check, and then checkmate. If rook to c2, then we have check, checkmate. Okay. So if rook to f4, then check, and then checkmate. And if king to d1, checkmate. Not the most accurate chess game. Rook sacrifice was very cool. Efim Geller missed pushing the pawn, but it was a very cool deflection idea by Max Euwe. And Efim Geller missed finding the best move, and he paid the price. So after this move, basically white has no defense, and Geller resigned rightfully. So thank you so much for watching. Take care and bye bye.